everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Micah and it is Friday night and it is a stormy summer evening in southern Indiana and I would really love to curl up with a book. Problem is, I have so many great books in my physical TBR that I've been really indecisive about what to read next because I have so many great options. So what I decided to do was play a little game, and I'm going to base my next read on the first lines of these books. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to kind of do, like, if you've ever done those like March Madness basketball brackets. So I'm going to have two books facing off, and then the winner will go on to the next round, and then the loser I'll read at another time. Like, these are all great options. There's no loser in this, but I'm just a little bit indecisive. So I'm going to base it purely off of which book has the best first line, in my opinion. And I tried to put these up for at least the first couple rounds to where they will make the most sense, like they're kind of the same genre, but by the end we'll probably have two books in vastly different genres. So let's get started. Let's see which book has the best opening line. Okay, so we have our first book here. This is Once More with Feeling, and this is by Elissa Sussman. I've been really looking forward to this one for a while. And then my other one is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. These both seem like rom-coms, so that's why they're up against each other. So let's look at Once More with Feeling first, and let's see what our first line is. And I'm not including any quotes or anything, like, or author's notes, or just anything like the actual first line of the book. Okay, so for this we have, the title is Rolling Stone, so it looks like it's an article in Rolling Stone, and the first line is Top 100 Music Scandals of the Past 50 Years. Number 14, Katie Rose destroys Ryan Lanvey's heart and her career. Okay, that seems fun. So we got a Rolling Stone article, and I'm one of those people who I love, like, Miss Mojo, like top 50, top 10, whatever. So this appeals to me. Okay, so we have that. Then we have My Killer Vacation. Oh, Pippin, my cat is trying to get in the shot here. Okay, so for our first line, it looks like for our first chapter we have a point of view, someone named Taylor, and the first line is to all the people who've called me cheap in the past. Ooh, that's intriguing. But I think for the first round, I'm going to go with Once More with Feeling. So ding, 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 we have our first round winner. But this, I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. Okay, next up, we have The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James and The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I had to pick this up when I was at Barnes & Noble's, this one the other day, because I watched the channel Chapter and Converse religiously, and she just talks about how great Riley Sager is, so I thought I had to give him a go. And I put these two together because they are thrillers. Alright, here we go. So this is Sundown Motel first. Okay, so we have a timeline established. The top before the chapter, it says Fell, New York, November 1982, Viv, so we have a point of view. Alright, so our first line is The night it all ended, Vivian was alone. Ooh, I love that. Okay. Alright, let's go with Riley Sager here, and let's see what we have here. Okay, here we go. This doesn't have any heading or anything on it. We're at the typewriter again, Lenora in her wheelchair and me standing beside her as I place her left hand atop the keys. You know, that doesn't really call out to me. Like, that's not getting my attention too much. So, let's see. It's gonna have to be The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. And I've heard such great things about Riley Sager. Just because the first line doesn't intrigue me doesn't mean that the rest of the book won't. Okay, let's see. Round 3. the theme of this pairing is that they kind of just seemed a little bit magical in them. So first we have The Fairy Bargains of Prospect Hill, and this is by Rowena Miller. And then we have How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. So they just seem to both have a little magical element to them. So let's see which one has the better first line, in my opinion. And feel free to disagree with me, but in my opinion, with reading, it's all about what interests you, what catches you. Like if you force yourself to read something, you're not going to enjoy it and you're going to get into a reading slump real easy. So this is about what catches my attention and what makes me want to read. Okay, let's start with The Fairy Bargains, of Prospect Hill. Alright, so let's look here. Okay, we do have a little quote above the first line, but I'm not going off the quote. So it says, when the Madison Railroad laid the tracks at the base of Prospect Hill, there were no roads cleaving the thickly forested slopes and no houses overlooking the distant river. Okay, so it's setting up the setting. Doesn't necessarily grab my attention, but let's see what the first line is and how to stop time. I am old. I love the simplicity of that. Okay, so we have when the railroad tracks were laid on Madison Road at the base of Prospect Hill, there were no roads cleaving. So we have a description and we have someone stating that they're old. Ooh, this is tough because I hate to say that neither one of them are jumping out at me. I am old, describing the setting. I'm gonna go with How to Stop Time. I'm gonna go with How to Stop Time because that's just a little, because that could be taken in a bunch of different directions. It could be funny, it could be serious, or it could be some mystical elements. So we're gonna go with that. Okay, next up we have In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune, which is one of my favorite authors, and The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. The reason I kind of paired these up is that the vibe I got from In the Lives of Puppets is that it's a lot more grim than his other works. And I could be wrong about that, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. And this seems to have like a thriller type of vibe to it. And I think this is like a dystopian universe. So let's start with TJ Klune. Okay. In an old and lonely forest, far away from almost everything, sat a curious dwelling. I really like this line, but I could be biased because um, the house in the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door, they both have these places that are just like quaint and curious and full of love. So maybe I'm attracted to being put back in that vibe and that aesthetic. We'll see. All right, now we have The Death of Mrs. Westaway. Let's see what the first line for this is. And there was a little quote that started before the first line. Okay, we do have a date. We have 29 November 1994. We have the magpies are back. Okay, interesting. I wonder if the author or whoever is stating this is going to have a war with birds. That would be quite terrifying for me. I'm going to go with the TJ Klune because of the curious dwelling and the vibe. That just seems to catch my eye a lot more. So we're going to go with In the Lives of Puppets for right now, and we'll revisit Mrs. Westaway later. Okay. We have Neon Gods by Katie Roberts, and we have Heroes by Stephen Fry. I put these two against each other because they are both about Greek mythology. I believe this is Hades and Persephone, and this talks about all the many, many heroes in Greek mythology. And I will say I have read Mythos, the first book in this trilogy, before, so we'll see. So let's start with Neon Gods. I know this is kind of like a smutty thing. Like, it's hard to compare them, but they both have similar themes. Alright, let's see what Neon Gods is all about. I really hate these parties. I mean, fair point. And it's from Persephone's point of view. So for Neon Gods, and I've read a bit of this. I was reading a lot of books at once, and then my brain kind of imploded, and then I didn't read for a long time. So I have started reading this a bit, but I put it down not because it was bad, but because I was not in the state to be reading all those books I was reading. Alright, so we have I Really Hate These Parties. Now let's take a look at Heroes by Stephen Fry. This is a thick one. Ooh, there's a huge table of contents. There is an introduction here. I'm not going to count introductions. I will count prologues, but not introductions. Okay, we have something under the Shower of Gold. Ooh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce these names. Acrisius, ruler of Argos, having produced no male heir to his kingdom, sought advice from the oracle at Delphi as to how and when he might expect one. Well, we know if we do Greek mythology that the oracle at Delphi, once that gets involved, everything just gets messed up. So I'm going to have to go with Heroes. But I have read her Neon Gods, and I will definitely pick it up again. It's just the question of when. Okay, we have our last two initial rounds. We have Kiki's Delivery Service, and we have The Lost Apothecary. Now, the reason I put these two together was, this is about witches, obviously, and, when you think witches, you think potions. An apothecary, you think, it's an old-fashioned pharmacy, but you could think of potions and, medicines as being made in potions. So that's why I put them together. That's the way my brain's working right now. So by the way, I love this movie. I have a tattoo. It's a little bit hard to see, but I have a tattoo from the movie, and this was the book that inspired that movie. So let's see. I might be biased, but I'm not ashamed. Alright, that's a note from the author. Okay, here we go. Once there was a little town sandwiched between a deep forest and gentle grassy hills. And this could be my bias talking, but I'm already feeling that Studio Ghibli vibe, the calm, just like you're wrapped in a fuzzy blanket. I'm already getting those vibes. But like I said, I could just be wanting that to happen. Then we have The Lost Apothecary. Okay, we do have a date here, February 3rd, 1791. I do love a good period piece. She would come at daybreak, the woman whose letter I held in my hands, the woman whose name I did not yet know. Okay, so that's intriguing, and this is cozy, but as much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to have to say bye to the cozy vibes and go with The Lost Apothecary. Okay, so we are through the initial round. So now it's time for the next section of our bracket. So we have Once More with Feeling, and then Simone St. James. So my memory is shot at this point. I'm probably going to have to reread them. So let's see. Once More with Feeling, that was the, top 100 music scandals of the past 50 years. Katie Rose destroys Ryan Leviv's heart and her career. Okay, so we've got that tagline. And then we've got, I think this was On the Night She Died, or what was it? The night it all ended, Vivian was alone. Okay, so we've got top 100 scandals. And then we've got the night it ended, Vivian was alone. Let's go with the Sundown Motel. Let's go with the Sundown Motel. That's still the most intriguing. Okay, but I am excited to read this. Alright. So then we got How to Stop Time. And then we've got in the lives of puppets. And you can see my cats in the corner, sorry. Okay, so this one was I am old, and this one talks about in the forest there was a curious dwelling. I'm going to go with in the lives of puppets for this one. All right, we're narrowing it down. Okay, so then that means we have heroes and the lost apothecary. So this one is talking about the guy seeing the oracle at Delphi, and then this one is about meeting a woman she's never met. I'm going to have to go with the lost apothecary. Okay, now I've got 3, so I feel like I didn't do the math on this correctly. Yeah, I didn't do that very well, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I really messed up that math, didn't I? Anyway. Okay. So, let's just go ahead and do it round robin this way. So here, we have the night it all ended, Vivian was alone, and then in the forest there was a curious dwelling. Ooh, it's like peaks, like, ooh, this is like, we're describing the forest, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. But then this is like, ooh, Vivian was alone, it ended. What ended? Her life ended? The business ended? The world ended? We don't know. That's so hard. I'm gonna have to go with TJ Klune. Okay. Alright, here we go. Last one. So this one we have about the curious dwelling, and this one is the woman's arriving at dawn. She has the letter in her hand from the woman's name. She doesn't know. I'm going to have to go with TJ Klune. Okay, so my next read is going to be In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. That is not a huge shocker because I absolutely adore his writing. So I am very much looking forward to that. And thanks for just watching me in this little experiment. Apparently, this is where we learned that I don't know how to do math, but that's not going to be a shock to anyone who knows me. But thank you for watching, and I will give you a review this once I finish it, and I'm really looking forward to it. Everyone have a great night. I know there's a lot of crazy weather across the country right now, so I hope everyone stays safe. All right, and have a happy 4th of July.